Hello and welcome to Murphy's Garden, and you join me today, a bit of a different video. We're in the kitchen, it's a bit cold and it's also dark outside, so I'm doing some jobs in the house and I thought it might be quite nice if you wanted to join me. So one of the things I want to do, I've been watching Danielle from North Lawn Farms, and she's been talking about her flower farm cottage, that she's going to be having a little flower cottage for her dried flowers, and that looked really lovely, really exciting. And I haven't got anywhere to put my dried flowers other than here in the kitchen. I hang them up on the beams in the kitchen, but longer term I've got big plans because we've got a beautiful outbuilding which would be perfect for that use. So ultimately in the long term I would like to do that, but in the meantime, on a winter's night like this, what I want to do is just utilize some of my dried flowers to make little gifts and things for Christmas. So the inspiration for this, my grandpa, who died several years ago now, Grandpa was a big collector. He collected lots and lots of things, from lots of antiques, precious stones, postcards, stamps, everything, you name it. He collected lots of different things, and his various collections. When just recently I've just got his postcard collection, and I've really enjoyed looking at it. I have mentioned it in the past in previous videos because some of the postcards are just really beautiful, and lovely little botanical themed postcards as well, which look really good framed, and I've used them on our stairs to do little decorations up the stairs. But also in the collection were some Christmas cards, and that's given me some inspiration. So first of all, just show you some of these. Are some of the little postcards that there are, some beautiful little ones of various famous kind of actresses and different things at the time. And what surprised me, these postcards are all dated from the early 1900s. So having read them, and the writing on the back is so beautifully written, and tiny writing, but it just is a great example of sort of social history at that time. Lovely handwriting, but social history of what was going on at that time in Ireland, actually, because this is a girl called Ella McIlrath, and she was a Presbyterian minister's daughter, and she lived in Belfast at the time. And so I suppose they were quite an affluent family. But what has struck me about reading all these postcards is that they did travel quite a lot. I think we think in the modern age that we get around and we travel, but they really did. They travelled all over the place, from to Germany to London to all over Europe, and they sent postcards, and it was all documented in these postcards. So all of these postcards are addressed to the same lady. It's Ella McIlrath, who was about 19 at the time, and a lot of the correspondence are from her friends and from her sister. So it's been really enjoyable reading about what they got up to. But what I also wanted to do is, among the collection, as well as the postcards, were these Christmas cards. So these are all Christmas cards, and they're just beautiful, and it's obviously like Pepsi Cola and Santa Claus and everything, so they're all very much themed on nature and themed on plants and flowers and all things like that. And they've got some beautiful little verses in them as well, which are all lovely. And so I'm using this as my inspiration to make my Christmas cards this year, because I'm kind of a bit fed up just giving people bought Christmas cards that are a bit boring and a bit not very personal. And I thought it would be much nicer to utilise the flowers from our garden and take inspiration from these little cards, which mean a lot to me, to make nice little Christmas cards to give to my friends and relations this year. And I just want to share with you some of the designs. So these are all dated from the 1890s, so quite early Christmas cards. And the colours are very muted, and as I say, take inspiration from nature. Absolutely beautiful. And I definitely want to do something with these. Want to put them in frames and just really enjoy them, because they're absolutely beautiful. They're lovely. So taking inspiration from 1890, I'm going to use them to create my cards for 2023. I'll begin by making a cup of tea. That's the first thing we need to do. I've printed out some of the words from my favourite cards, and just done it in a nice calligraphy.
and then I'm using the tea just to give it that sort of aged look, because it looks a bit too pristine and white. So this will make it look a bit more aged. So I needed them to look Christmassy, because I have made lots of little gift cards in the past using the dried flowers, but I needed these to look a little bit Christmassy. So I managed to get this beautiful kind of old-fashioned type of paper, and it's got all different patterns in it, from robins to all sorts of things, snowflakes and everything, and flowers and things. So managed to get that, so I've been using that as the background. And I'll begin by folding the cardboard in half to make the cards, and then I'll use the patterned paper as a mount, so just as a background paper. So I'll just cut it to the right size using this guillotine, and then it will be mounted onto the cardboard. And now it's time for the flowers. So I think the key with this is to keep the individual little flowers very, very small. So strip out little individual stems. So just little buds of roses, achillea, things like that. Just strip out smaller stems. And even like with hydrangea, just individual little tiny flower heads. And then just play about with different combinations until you get a miniature posy that you're happy with. So I think what I've learned from doing this is that it's best to keep things small and try and keep the bunch quite flat. I've done a few that have been a bit too big and a bit too forward facing. The card looks much more effective if the bunch is quite flat to the card itself. And once you're happy with it, just get some string and holding it firmly, just wrap round the little bunch and tie it really, really tight so nothing can come out, nothing can come loose. And just trim off the string and then trim the stems to the length that you want them to be. And once the tea stained words are dry, just tear round. It looks much nicer with nice sort of jagged edges, so just tear round the words, and then once that's done you can stick them on the card where you want them to go.
So I've got a bit of a production line going here, getting on quite well. Let's just thread that through there.
And I've just secured the little posy with some tape, and you don't really see the tape very much once the ribbon is tied and it hides it. The nice thing is with these that when Christmas is all over, you can just peel off the little bunch of flowers and put it on like around pictures, or just use it to decorate things in the house. Miniature little bouquets are quite useful.
So I've used some of the words from the little Victorian Christmas cards, and this is one by Frances Ridley Havergal, who was around in 1836 to 1879, and she wrote lots of little poems and also hymns as well. So I thought this one would be particularly apt because it features flowers. So the little rhyme is, "What though the blossom fall and die, the flower is not the root. The son of love may ripen yet the master's pleasant fruit." So it's just a reminder to all us gardeners that although things in the garden look dead, they're not really dead. The flower is still under the ground. It will come back again the following year. The plant's still alive, and we're not to be sad, but to remember that it will all come back again next year. And then inside I've just got the words, "May the best of blessings be yours at Christmas and through the coming year." Again, just taken from the little Victorian Christmas cards. So I've completely trashed my kitchen, but on the plus side, I've made lots of nice Christmas cards. So they're all individual. Everyone is slightly different, which is quite nice, really. I like that about them. And then what I do is just box them up. I'm just in the process of writing them, which is always the boring part. But here they are, all boxed up, ready to go. I'll try and hand deliver as many as I can, but they do go through the post. This little box is quite robust, and I have posted several of them as well, so they seem to survive in the post as well. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and join me in the next video. Bye for now.